You don't have to be certified, but it's highly recommended to become an expert in your field to get a certification. You're able to charge more. You're perceived as a higher quality writer. It's used to say, funny enough, I don't want to be a writer. So writing a good cover letter is really all about capturing your audience in the first 5 seconds. Hiring managers and recruiters are leaning on LinkedIn to find their leads.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network at blueberry.com. That's blueberry with no ease.com.
Right on America is brought to you
by a generous grant from the Built on Dreams Media Network,
as well as the Sims Media Foundation,
and from listeners like you.
Everyone ready? Music cue, EQ in, listen for roll cue.
Rolling on 6. On set.
Roll tape. I'm delighted to welcome Melanie Denny, owner of Resume Evolution, to the Right on America podcast. Your resume is arguably one of the most important documents you can write in your life. How many are written right? Have you thought about the message your resume and cover letter are projecting? Are you using LinkedIn to promote yourself when you work correctly? Do you really know how to write your cover letter, resume, and profile on LinkedIn? Enter Melanie Denny. Melanie Denny has partnered with numerous clients from a wide range of industries to create unique, compelling, self-marketing documents and tools. With expert knowledge in resume writing concepts, modern job searching tactics, and effective keyword strategies, she has a passion for helping job seekers reach their long and short-term career goals with excellence in writing. Melanie Denny, welcome to the Right on America podcast. It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
How did you get started writing resumes professionally?
I actually started helping a friend with her resume. I needed to help someone else with theirs, and gradually I started helping people. One guy in particular said, you're really good at this. You should charge. And I went, what? Really? Maybe I should. So I did some research, and I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And I realized that I can make a good living writing resumes. I took it more seriously. I got my certification, put up my website, and here I am today.
What certification do you need to become a resume writer?
You don't have to be certified, but it's highly recommended to become an expert in your field to get a certification. You're able to charge more. You're perceived as a higher quality writer because your expertise is in resume writing.
Did you realize that as you started writing resumes, you were actually becoming a writer?
I didn't at first. Gradually, I did realize I am a writer. This is writing. It's used to say, funny enough, I don't want to be a writer.
Why did you say that?
It just never really appealed to me to become a writer. During school, I was looking for my niche. I was always good at writing, but I always knew I just didn't want to be a writer. That wasn't in my heart to become a writer.
Interesting juxtaposition. You never thought about being a writer. You didn't really want to be a writer. And now you're a writer. How does that make you feel?
It feels fine. I love what I do. It's not just about writing for me. It's actually more about the results that I'm able to offer my clients through my writing.
When you first sent in your request to be a guest on the Right on America podcast, I thought, what does a resume writer have to do with writing? It just didn't occur to me at first that a writer is behind writing a resume, silly as that may sound. I thought about it that evening, and I realized that one's resume is probably the most important piece of paper with writing on it that they can own in their life. In effect, you are taking charge of somebody's written life. You have to really be ultra focused on what they're about, what they do, and how to present them in the best light in words.
That's absolutely correct, yes.
Are there difficulties in interpreting somebody into words?
Sometimes it can be difficult because some people don't understand within themselves their strengths and their value. So over the years, I've learned to ask the right questions, get them to understand where I'm really trying to get in terms of showcasing their skills. It's not just about what they did day to day. It's about how they help the company progress.
How much do you charge to rewrite a resume?
It depends on the level of experience. Most of my clients are mid-professional level. A resume and cover letter package for them starts at $350.
How has the resume itself evolved from self-based to company-focused?
10, 15 years ago, resumes were pretty basic. You have an objective statement that talks about what you want to obtain a position in a successful company where I can utilize my skills and experiences obtained. It has nothing to do with the value that you can bring to an employer. It's all about what you want, what you're looking for. The resume has evolved into truly a self-marketing document. It's not just a laundry list of things that you've done or jobs that you've held. It's really designed to market your skills and showcase the value that you bring to an employer. There are so many different components that are acceptable today in a resume. For example, direct quotes from past supervisors are a great way to stand out. Graphs or charts that maybe show how you've impacted the company over time. A splash of color is a unique way to stand out. Don't want to use a template because, of course, you look like the cookie cutter resume just like everyone else. So it's okay to be more creative. There must be hundreds or thousands of people applying for the exact same position on those websites. If you click submit, why would they pick your resume out of the bunch? It has to stand out. Before, you didn't have all that much competition. You saw an ad in a newspaper, visited the company, went to the front desk, said, hey, I would like to apply for this position, and you gave them your resume. It's much different.
Melanie, I'm thinking I may come back to you. Your book, The Job Seeker's Secret Guide to LinkedIn, was it difficult to write?
It was definitely research intensive. My goal with the book is really to not necessarily show people how to use LinkedIn, but really show them the value that LinkedIn has for someone in the market for a job. Hiring managers and recruiters are leaning on LinkedIn to find their leads.
I look at LinkedIn as a Facebook for professionals. Would you say that's a good, bad, or poor characterization? I perceive LinkedIn as a Facebook for professionals. Would you say that's a good, fair, or poor characterization of their system?
I think it's pretty accurate in terms of how most people look at it. I think it's just one step up from that. On Facebook, you're not there for a true purpose. You're just there to have fun, to connect with some people. If you're on LinkedIn, you probably have some purpose. Whether you're in a market for a job or not, your LinkedIn profile is a representation of you. And when people look at that, they're forming their opinions on you as a professional.
Then, as well written as a resume should be, the next highest thing is to be presenting yourself in the same professional manner on LinkedIn.
At this point, more than 225 million professionals on LinkedIn. If you're looking to expand your network, LinkedIn has created a platform for you to do exactly that. You really want to connect with people that are able to help you progress. Perhaps in the future, job opportunities may come. The opportunities are endless. And it's really all about how you tap into all of the different resources that LinkedIn has for you. And not necessarily only about finding a job, but really working as a professional.
LinkedIn, then, is the ultimate networking site, isn't it?
Absolutely. It is by far the largest and the most well-known. Most recruiters are searching for their candidates on LinkedIn.
Are you a premium member of LinkedIn?
I am a premium member. However, nothing that I promote or teach or talk about in my book is based on the premium level of LinkedIn. It's all the free level. You could tap into so much without having to pay a dime.
How important are cover letters, and how well do they have to be written to be effective?
It's so important to get to the point quickly and effectively. So writing a good cover letter is really all about capturing your audience in the first 5 seconds. You want to do that by using powerful language, maybe adding a quote or something profound that is related to the industry that you're in, a rhetorical question, a plethora of different ideas and how to really capture someone's attention. You definitely don't want to just start off, I am writing to apply for the such and such position as I saw posted on monster.com. Boring. What do you have to say? What is your value? Why should I even read on? It's really all about that powerful intro, that headline, wow factor. That's really what you want to do with cover letters.
Not unlike a novelist whose job it is in the first chapter to grab you by the throat and keep you riveted. Can you really do the same with a cover letter?
Absolutely. Yes, you can.
Do you not ever find it difficult to interpolate what your client has to offer and how to write it out?
Over time, I've definitely gotten better at it. But by the time I've reached the cover letter, because I usually do the discovery session first with the client, and then we write the resume, and then we edit it, and then I go into the cover letter. So by that time, I have a really good idea of how I want to market this person and what points I want to make in the cover letters. That makes it much easier.
Everything about what you do comes down to the written word and how you are presented in writing.
That is correct.
The revisions you write must lead to a lot of revelations.
It's really a challenging thing in general. When I'm able to just let them talk freely about what they do and how they add value, and then translate that into words on paper, when they're reading it, it's really eye-opening for them. They really sometimes never understood what they had to offer. And being able to read it for themselves just gives them that much more confidence in applying for the next job or passing it on to a colleague.
All this because of your writing.
That is correct.
What do you like most about writing your cover letters and resumes, and what do you like least?
What I like the most is really, again, translating that message, opening people's eyes to what they have to offer. The only part that I could do without is when people don't understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. Sometimes people are so attached to what they've done in the past. I'm offering something new and creative and innovative. They're not as receptive sometimes. It's a little painstaking sometimes. But in general, I win. I end up winning because they're coming to me for a certain level of expertise. So when they're doubting that, or when they're not able to see why I'm doing what I'm doing, it could be a little frustrating, just a little.
You have a special offer for listeners to the Right on America podcast?
I would like to offer your listeners a free copy of the new ebook. They'd have to email me directly, or they can simply go onto my website, fill out the Contact Us page, and just say, unlock LinkedIn.
That's all they have to say?
Yes. And I would email them a free copy of my new book, The Job Seeker's Secret Guide to LinkedIn, 2nd edition.
Can you read us a small excerpt from it?
Sure. Some people are adamant about only accepting connections on LinkedIn that they actually know. This is a complete matter of preference and is really the way LinkedIn is designed. However, think about the fact that you only have about 75 connections and none of them are recruiters in your field. None of them are hiring for a position you are seeking, and none of them are very influential in your industry. If this is true, then what is your LinkedIn purpose?